Chicago renters want to know why their rent is up, and I'm here to tell them why. The one main reason that I will tell you, I won't even beat around the bush. The reason your rent is higher is simply because of property taxes. A lot of people don't understand this concept, so I actually broke it down on the whiteboard behind me. But once you actually understand what's going on in the market and how all of these outside factors affect you, you can start making smarter decisions about your personal finances. So let's break it down. Over here, we have 123 Main Street. If you look at the whiteboard, I wrote it right up there in the blue. 123 Main Street. 123 Main Street is on the west side of Chicago. It's in the cusp of that West Chicago, South Chicago little area. The unit that we're talking about is not a high rise, it's not a low rise, it's not something cheap, but it's not too fancy or expensive. It's a mid-rise, 3-unit building, 3 flat, sitting on top of each other. $350,000 in the market right now. So that's the property we're at. We're at 123 Main Street. She's worth $350,000. There's a mortgage out on her. They're paying the mortgage, yada, yada, yada. On one side of the board in this 3-unit building, you have the cost that it was prior to the increases that we've noticed over the last year. So you might notice that your mortgage was $2,200. You might have noticed that your insurance was $200. You might have noticed that your taxes were around $800 if you were the property owner, and that you were reserving around $500 for your vacancies or maintenance requests. That will put you at around $3,700 per month, which means that if you had 3 units and you were renting them out, your baseline to pay all of your bills would be $1,233 per month, which means you would probably be charging somewhere between $1,350 and $1,550 per unit for this building. Now, you'll see that over the last year, we've had certain price increases. If you think about reassessments and you think about the different policies and laws that we've had enacted in Chicago, I'm not advocating for any certain policy or against any certain policy, but if you notice that property taxes recently did go up. A lot of people attribute that because they think that Chicago doesn't manage their budget well, and they transfer that cost onto individual homeowners in the city. So you'll notice that your increase probably went up. Your mortgage would have stayed the same if you locked in that rate, but your insurance might have went up to $250, and your taxes might have went from $800 to $1,150 per month. And your vacancies, since you're charging more for your rent, you would have wanted to put more aside for your vacant units, and you also would have wanted to put more aside for your maintenance requests. So your vacancy and maintenance would have went up to $750 per month. So now your overall total that you need to meet your bare minimum to hold this building went up from $3,700 per month to $4,350 per month. So now let's say if you were somebody that your baseline prior to these tax increases or the overall cost of living increase that we've experienced in Chicago, you might have went up from $1,233 per month that you were paying just a little over a year ago to $1,450 per month. And this will put you in a scenario where you experience a $217 overall increase in your mortgage per month, which means that you can no longer rent out your unit for $1,350 to $1,550. You would now be charging somewhere between $1,550 and $1,750. This is not a hard problem to solve. The issue that we're running into in Chicago is prices are rising very fast, and we are still one of the most affordable big cities in America. But prices are rising faster than the people that live here can meet the demand. We're not making enough to justify the price increases. And the city is transferring their cost increases onto individual homeowners, not the wealthy, not the privileged, but you, the renters. And it starts out with a simple property tax increase that might just be a matter of $2,000 per year that can turn into you as a tenant paying almost $200 more per month. I'm not saying that we need to all be against or for paying extra property taxes. But what I am saying is, do you as a renter, do you as a homeowner think that this is the most reasonable solution to maintaining our budget in the city of Chicago? Are we really transferring the cost of managing our big city onto our smallest homeowners in the city? Is that the plan? I don't know, but this is what I wanted to show you because I get a lot of renters asking me, my rent went up. They just sent me a letter that increasing rent $300, $400, $500. And it might not be the case of you having a shitty or horrible landlord. It might really just be the city charged them more to have that property right there. Their insurance went up, which means now all the other costs are rising. We can't really avoid that no matter what we do. Even if at the worst day, the property owners just absorb that cost, it would just be a case of a bunch of properties going into foreclosure and we would lose a bunch of inventory and people wouldn't have places to rent. So I think that we as a city, we really need to get this problem under control. We need to figure out what exactly can we do to better protect ourselves and our ability to manage our finances as a city. What can you do as a citizen to motivate your aldermen and your city council people in your neighborhood to make sure that they're managing the budget and not placing their excess or their costs that they can't manage onto you, the citizen? I don't know. That's a question that we all should be exploring, and I don't think that I'm the one to bring the solution to you. But if you wanted to know why your rent went up, this is a really good equation as to why. If your rent ever goes up and you notice that you still have crappy floors, you still have the same appliances, they didn't come and update or renovate or change anything, and they just submitted an increase, it's either one of two scenarios. The property owner wants to make more money off of the unit, or they're being charged more per month. And I don't think right now you're just seeing a bunch of property managers or property owners increase rents for no reason. I think they're actually being charged more than what they can handle. And the only way to navigate that is to put some of the burden back onto renters. There's no way around it because the costs are just too high. It's too much for a city to manage, and we need to get a better grip on this as a society, or people will just be homeless. Is that what you want, America? Is that what you want, Chicago? I don't know, but I guess the solution isn't a solution at all. It's just clarity, and clarity in knowledge is overall leverage in the equation. If you know where you're at, you know what you're doing, you know how you can manage it. I think it's our job because the politicians are not figuring this out. We don't have enough housing, we don't have enough inventory, and we don't have enough property or people to manage the costs that they're inflicting onto us. So we have to figure out how to manage it ourselves, and we gotta start here, I guess, from just understanding what's going on and why. So, go ahead. For one, what you need to do is you need to go find your local alderman, your local city council person that represents you in your neighborhood, and you need to apply pressure. This is a local issue. You can't place blame on somebody else. This is you. This is your local issue. You can influence this. You can go to city council meetings. You can put your hand up and you can take votes and you can be a part of debates. Or you can sit at home, watch your property rent increase, and be mad about it. Or you can do what I think everybody should do, and you can just go buy a home. And then you could submit your own reassessments and get a lawyer and be like, I'm not paying these extra property taxes, and get somebody to actually fight on your behalf. You got so many options, but sitting at home doing nothing and paying the extra rent, I don't know if that's the solution, but it's not my solution. It's not the solution God gave me. So I think we should just go on about our day, do what we gotta do, we done. That's it. Now you know the problem. You even know a little bit of a solution. You can get started doing something instead of being mad about it. And that's where I leave off with it. See y'all later.